Okay, with street fighting, we're going to be a little creative. We're going to think differently than normal. Let's take direct mail, for example. What's a typical response to direct mail advertising, would you say? How much? 1 or 2%, 3%? Let me share with you a few examples that get a little better than that kind of average. Denise Crawford has a quick print shop in Solon, Ohio. Solon is a suburb of Cleveland. It's near that fish place, SeaWorld. She was at Las Vegas for her annual convention for quick printers. While she was at the MGM Grand, which is where their conference was, she gets this brainstorm. She buys a case of postcards from the MGM Grand. So the full-color postcard with the lion on the front, takes the postcards back to her little quick print shop in Solon. Prints on the reverse side, don't gamble with your printing needs. Bring this postcard in for a 10% savings on your first order. Looks up 400 names of businesses who were not already her customers. Mails out the postcards, the postcard rate. Mails out 400, she gets 100 redemptions. That's a 25% return. What is it about that particular mailing that you think got her a 25% when the average is 3 to 4%, if you're good? What was it about that? Third-party endorsement? Possibly. What else? It's different. What happens to most mail when it comes in? Well, it goes in the trash. So I call it junk mail. But you get a color postcard from Las Vegas. You're going to say, who do I know in Vegas and how much did they win? And you turn it over, don't gamble, tie it in with the headline. It broke through the clutter. It didn't look like, mail that goes in the trash. And a guy heard that story, had a different type of business, was in Orlando, decided to try the same thing. He bought up a bunch of picture postcards from Orlando. Don't Mickey Mouse around when you need, you can paraphrase. Or if the guy that's working with you now is Goofy, it had a picture of Goofy on the front. It gets through the clutter. What other types of mailings almost always get opened up? Greeting cards. Greeting cards almost always get opened up. FedEx gets opened up. Tubes get opened up. Checks.
Letters from the IRS.
I got a few that I haven't opened yet, but yeah, I think you're on the right track. One thing that I found out that almost gets 100% readership, and I cannot figure this out to this day, and you guys will have to explain this to me. Wedding invitations. Why is that? I mean, what is a wedding invitation from a marketing perspective? It's a piece of solicitation. People send out a wedding invitation for what purpose? What is the main objective of this piece of mail? A gift. And I don't, it's to me it's junk mail, right? Okay, it looks prettier, but it's junk mail. But in my house, when my wife gets a wedding invitation, she gets excited, opens it up, it goes on the refrigerator. She's so excited. I think it just cost me $300. But if you want people to read your message, maybe we should make it look like a wedding invitation. It doesn't have to be the oversized, really expensive ones, just a 5.5 by 4.25 fold over with a textured envelope, very inexpensive. Don't use a computer to put the address on it. Hand address it, that always helps. On the reverse side, put that curly Q typeface for your return address, no company name, just a return address. And don't use a meter, use a love stamp. They come out with new ones every year, stick a love stamp on it. You mail that out, people will open it up and read it. And then it's an invitation to discover the best service you're going to get or the best representation or however you want to paraphrase. But if they don't read the message, you don't have a good chance at them calling you. So the first objective of any piece of direct mail is to at least get someone to read the message. You mentioned greeting cards. How many people send out Christmas cards to a list? Total waste of money. Christmas cards. And why do I say that? Why are Christmas cards, from a marketing perspective, a waste of money? Because everybody sends them. In my office, we start getting the Christmas cards right after Thanksgiving. And what happens when they come in? What do we do with them? They go on the wall. we have a wall and we tape them to the wall. And all of a sudden there's 20, 30, 40 different Christmas cards. Which one do I remember? None, because there's 40. I have a buddy of mine, Scott Freeman from Denver, sends me a Thanksgiving Day card. It goes on the wall in the middle of November. He's the only one on the wall for a month. I remember Scott. So think about it. Why use all that competition? What are some other holidays where you can get greeting cards where you can make more of an impact? I mean, start from the first of the year. After the first of the year, what's the next major holiday? We could send somebody a greeting card. Valentine's Day. So you use Valentine's Day cards. You know, we love taking care of our clients or something like that. When's the best time to buy Valentine's Day cards? February 15th, get them for 10 cents on the dollar or cheaper. So you set it up for next year. After Valentine's Day, what's the next major holiday? St. Patrick's Day. We're going to make you some green, okay? What's the next major holiday after that? Easter. We're going to resurrect your... No, that's not going to work. But, you know, look at what other people aren't doing. Now, there's one exception to the Christmas card thing. My father-in-law's uncle worked for a garment company in New York. And every year they'd send out their 500 Christmas cards to their customer base. And they would, in November, they'd have it pre-addressed and stamped, ready to go. And right after Thanksgiving, they'd pop them in the mail. Well, one year, they forgot to put them in the mail. There was a change of people or something, and whoever was in charge of making sure it got mailed, they forgot. So one day in March, they're in the back room, and they're looking for something, and they find this box of 500 Christmas cards, already stamped, already addressed. What do you do with them? They threw them in the mail. And then within a week, they started getting phone calls from all their clients. You'll never believe what the post office did to your Christmas card this year. They got more sales in March, which is like the worst month they normally have, because of this mistake, which is something you could really only do once. Okay? So let's look at street fighting as it relates to other forms of advertising. How many people are using now?